Hello and welcome to this Manga haul from Leeds. This isn't like a monthly haul, this is just the stuff I picked up while in Leeds because I went last week on Tuesday and I told myself I was limiting myself to like no more than 10 volumes. For one, I have to carry them around, and for two, I've got plenty to read already over there. So we ended up there and I ended up buying 22 volumes. I was naughty. I didn't stick to my plan. And I kind of knew this would happen because I have no self-restraint. But, yeah. I kind of over-doubled what I was told myself I could buy. And ended up with 22 volumes. So, yeah. I need to practice self-restraint. Anyway, other than having a hard time carrying them around with me all day in a bag swung over my shoulder, it wasn't too bad. Yes. Anyway, let's just get on with what I bought. Rowan's here. He's wet. He's been for a walk. Anyway, you might have seen some of these already if you've watched my Read shopping vlog, which I uploaded on Wednesday. But I didn't show everything I bought in that video. Some of them I picked up after I turned the camera off, and there may have also been a trip to Waterstones where things were possibly bought. But you never know. Anyway, let's just get into the haul. Here's My Girlfriend's Child Volume 5. This one you probably did see me pick up in the video. This is one I was specifically looking for, one of the 10 that I allotted myself. Yeah, I have read this one already. I've read 6 of what's in this pile. I ended up reading like 2 volumes a day the 3 days after I got back. So yeah, I'll talk more about this in my reading vlog, but yeah, I picked up Volume 5, My Girlfriend's Child. It's a great series. It continues to be a great series. I know it's recently finished in Japan, I think with 9 volumes, so 4 more. Yeah. Next, I picked up these first 3 I got in a 3 for 2 in Travelling Man because they're all 7 Seas titles. This is The Strange House, Volume 1. This is a mystery, I think also horror. It was mentioned in the Tag series. I think it's more of a mystery, but it did mention having some like horror elements to it. Like, I like mysteries. I like horror. This one sounded really interesting. It's to do with a house where there's a room. There's a hidden room that can't be entered or something like that. Oh, apparently it's also been adapted into a horror film called The Floor Plan. I wonder if that's available to watch in the UK. I'll have to look that up. Yeah. I've always had a fascination with the occult. You might even call it my speciality. I've been brought in as a consultant on many supernatural and strange mysteries. But nothing could have prepared me for this house. It seemed so ordinary at first, except for that one room. It had no doors, no windows, and was tucked away, leaving anyone to think it was just a wall. I knew that there was something more to it. It shouldn't be there. It shouldn't exist, and yet. Just what is this house, and what dark secrets does it hold? Yeah, she is, I think, a detective or like a what's the people who make floor plans called? An architect. I think she's an architect, detective sort of person. And I'm pretty sure it's something about the room being designed for murder or something like that. This is the floor plan of a certain house. What's wrong with it? Yeah, this one, I haven't read this one yet, but it does sound very intriguing. Right up my street. I like mystery, I like horror mysteries. And I'm going to have a look to see if I can find that film. But maybe I'll at least read it first, although obviously the film's going to spoil what's happened in the manga. I think it's based off a novel as well. Okay, the next one, I found this. I think you saw me pick that one up in the video. You wouldn't have seen me pick this one up in the video. This is at 25 at Akasaka. I was in the travelling man and I was filming the shelves, and then I turned the camera off, and after turning the camera off I noticed that there was another shelf off to the side with all new releases in it, and I was like, oh, there's a new releases section. And I found this in the new releases section. I found a few others in the new releases section as well, so that's why I ended up picking up so much in Travelling Man. I think I only picked up like 5 in the video, so it didn't look like I had that much, but then after the video I found the new releases section, and that's where I picked up quite a few things. Like these 70s, there's also 3 more Steamship titles which I got a 3 for 2 on as well, which I picked up. So yes, this is at 2500 in Akasaka, I think it's pronounced. This is a BL. I think it's about acting. Yeah, I think it's about acting. I think they're both starring in a gay drama or something, and they like fall for each other. I've heard good things about this one. It's like I've seen it talked about quite a bit. I think there's also a drama adaptation for it. I'm not sure, but yeah, it sounded good. The Strange House and My Girlfriend Child, these 2 were on my list of things I wanted to pick up whilst I was in Leeds. Like I wrote down 10 volumes that I was like, these are the 10 I'm gonna look for. These are the 10 I'm gonna get. These 2 were on the list. This one was not on the list. But I needed a 3 for 2 to go with the other 2 of the same size. So yeah, I told myself it was for the 3 for 2. Even though I probably would have picked it up anyway. I'm terrible. Anyway, next I picked up a Therapy Game Restart. This wasn't on the list. Well, 3 of the volumes that were on the list I couldn't find. That I don't think they're actually out in UK stores yet, which is probably why I couldn't find them. So like this would have been one I put on if I like hadn't had those 3 on. So yeah, I love Therapy Game. I love Therapy Game Restart. About the last volume 3, was very like dramatic. There was a lot going on, but apparently this volume's a bit more chill. It's a bit more relaxed and it focuses more on these 2. Yeah, I love Therapy Game. I haven't read that one. And then I picked up the long-awaited Birds of Shangri-La Volume 3. This is a chunky one. Birds of Shangri-La, I loved the first 2 volumes, but it's been ages since one came out, and now we've finally got Volume 3, and it's super chunky. I know like a BL series like that publishing BL magazines in Japan, I think they're like bi-monthly. I think in Japan you only get a chapter every 2 months, and that's why it takes so long for volumes of BL series to come out, unless they're already complete, obviously. But this one isn't. This one's still ongoing in Japan. Rowan! Rowan! Can you not do that? Naughty. Yeah. Calm down. This one, it's about a male brothel called Shangri-La, and this guy is hired to work as a fluffer there to get the male prostitutes ready to service their customers, and one of the rules is they're not allowed to fall in love with the prostitutes that they are fluffing. So, but he identifies as being straight, and he's recently like divorced his wife, and it's a very good story. And the butts, Ramona Rosaria, she draws a fine arse. Yeah, looking forward to reading that one. Then this one is My Love Story with Yamada-kun at level 999. This is one of the couple of volumes that I picked up in Waterstones. They did have this in the Forbidden Planet, but I didn't see it in Forbidden Planet, and then I went back and I watched the video and I saw it on the shelf in the video, and I was like, I could have got it in a 3 for 2. Whereas Waterstones obviously doesn't do 3 for 2, but I didn't realise they had it because I didn't see it, so I picked it up when I saw it in Waterstones. But oh well. I like the anime. So I know I enjoy the series. It's like a shoujo romance with gaming elements. Like they both play this online game called Forest of Savior, and she got introduced to this game by her ex-boyfriend, so they played together, but then he like started dating this other girl who he met in the game, and they broke up, and she's like heartbroken, and she goes to this event, like this in real life meetup for the game, and she goes there to like try and see if her ex-boyfriend's there, and she ends up running into Yamada, who's actually in the same guild as her in the game. She actually interacted with him in the game a couple of times before meeting him. In real life, he's actually like a mini celebrity where this game is concerned, because he's like a pro gamer. And he kind of plays Forest of Savior not as part of his pro gaming, but more just in his downtime. And yeah, she gets very drunk and he takes her home, and they kind of start to build a relationship from there. Yeah, I really like the anime for this one. And I like volume 1 of the manga too. Okay, next. These two you would have seen in the video. We have Bride of the Barrier Master Volume 2. I really like Volume 1. It's shoujo fantasy, but it takes place in modern times. It's not like a historical fantasy. And she is tasked... She was like... He's the Barrier Master, but she is a twin. And her twin has these powers, and she's like born without powers, so she's kind of shunned by her family, but kind of like in My Happy Marriage. Only in this, she does actually develop powers. Once I think she turns 14, she starts to develop powers, but then she's like, I'm going to keep these powers to myself, because if my family learns how powerful I actually am, I'm going to have to do stuff I don't want to do, so I'm just going to keep them to myself so I can continue being lazy. I don't care if my family's shunning me. And so she does, and then when she turns 18, she meets him, who's the Barrier Master. He's tasked with keeping up all the barriers, and he needs a wife, because that will increase his strength to be able to continue doing what he does. And as soon as he sees her, he recognizes her powers, and he's like, I'm gonna marry you. And she's kind of like, well, I don't really want that, I just want to live a lazy life. And he's saying, once my duty's over, I can guarantee you can live a lazy life. And she's like, okay then. And it kind of goes from there. But yeah, the first volume is all like setting up their meetings and stuff, and I'm looking forward to continuing it. I haven't read the light novel yet, but I do have it. Next is Hi, I'm a Witch and My Crush Wants Me to Make a Love Potion. Volume 4. I have read this one, and I really liked it. I really like the series in general. It's shoujo fantasy about a witch who has to make a love potion for her crush, who needs it for some reason that she doesn't know, and she's like, obviously if he wants a love potion, he's in love with someone, right? So she's kind of taking as long as possible to gather all the ingredients and make the potion so he can stick around with her longer. So because obviously she likes him. Yeah, I really like this one. It's based on a light novel that's only 2 volumes long, and I think this volume are intercontents of the second light novel, so I don't think it's going to go for too much longer, maybe another 3 volumes, I would say. Because then it would have had like 3.5 volumes for each of those 2 light novels. Then, skip beat 4, 5, and 6. In the video, I was in Traveling Man. I was in Forbidden Planet, you would have seen it if you watched. And I saw Skip Beat lined up on the shelf, and I was like, I've already got the first volume. Should I grab the second one? And I'm like, no. No, I probably shouldn't. And then I grabbed a few other things, and I turned the camera off, and I'm like, I'm gonna go get Skip Beat. And I did. So here it is. Volume 2 of the omnibus of Skip Beat. I did like the anime for Skip Beat, and obviously the first 3 volumes, which are on my shelf somewhere. Who knows where I'm gonna fit this, because this is a like 42 volume long series, and I've got hardly any space left as it is, so at least the omnibuses take up slightly less space than the singles, but still, if I collect this whole thing, which I probably end up will doing, I have no idea where I'm going to put it. But still, I don't think about those things when I'm in the middle of a shop and all I can see is Skip Beat. Yeah, it's one of the most well-known shoujo series. It's one of the most ongoing, long-running ones as well. It's about acting. Kyoko wants to get revenge on her ex-boyfriend for being a complete utter dick he's a singer. She wants to to become a famous actor and basically become more famous than him and show him up. So she kind of like starts wanting to become an actor, and this is also an actor. His name's Ren. And he doesn't like her because he doesn't like the reasons for her becoming an actor. He doesn't think they're like good reasons. But then she kind of falls in love with acting, and they kind of start to get on. But yeah, I enjoyed the anime. I enjoyed Volume 1, 2, and 3, so I just grabbed it. It is a pretty like wordy series. That it is not a quick read. It does take me a while to get through. So it won't be a top priority to read straight away. It'll probably be one of the last ones I read, but I had to pick it up because they had it. They had 7, 8, and 9 as well. They didn't have 10, 11, and 12. But they had the first 3 on the buses. And then a gap and then a few other ones. But I resisted picking up 7, 8, and 9, and I just got 4, 5, and 6. Anyway, next. This is Mermaid Prince. This is a one-shot by Kaoru Ozaki. I have read this one. Unlike her other 2 series, this one's shoujo. Her other 2 are seinen, which are the Godfly and the Golden Sheep. Yeah. This one actually contains 3 stories. It contains the stories of Amatsukigahara, which is about a girl coming to terms with losing a friendship. We have One Snowy Day, which is about a librarian who meets a strange father and son. And then the title story is Mermaid Prince, which is about this guy who moves to the countryside and this girl who befriends him, and she sees him as like a prince, even though he's like far from it, and he's looking to for this legend of a mermaid who can like grant your wish if you find her. It's kind of typical Kaoru Ozaki, but I like her stuff. That I have read that one. Then this is the only light novel I grabbed, or at least the only one I grabbed for myself anyway. This is My Happy Marriage Volume 7. I have not read Volumes 5 and 6 yet. I've read 1, 2, 3, and 4, but I haven't read 5 and 6 yet. So I need to get round to them before I read Volume 7. But yeah, it's the latest volume. It recently came out. I grabbed it. Because I do want to keep up to date with the series, even if I'm not up to date with reading it. I think we're now caught up with Japan. I don't think Volume 8 is out in Japan yet. I think it might be out soon, but I don't think it's quite out yet. So it might be a while before we get the next volume. Or at least it'll be a while before we get 9 if 8 comes out in Japan very soon. Yeah, I really like the series. The trailer for season 2 has just dropped for the anime. And I think it's going to cover like volumes 3 and 4, which is stuff I've read. I hope they do a season 3 and cover more, if it's just going to cover those 2. Anyway, I really like it. This is a pretty cover. Then, I did get this one in Forbidden Planet, yeah. I See Your Face Turn Away Volume 2. I have read this one as well. I recently read Volume 1 and I saw Volume 2 and I was like, I really like Volume 1. And I grabbed Volume 2. They also had Volume 3 of Gazing at the Star Next Door, but I didn't grab it because I haven't read Volume 2 yet. But yeah, I really like Volume 1 this one, so when I saw Volume 2, I grabbed it. It's kind of slice of life romance about unrequited love between these 4 friends. It's good. And next, I grabbed one of my favourite series. Don't Cook Mystery 9 and 10. I know this series is a bit more expensive, but I love it. It's one of my favourites. It's probably my favourite josei. So I just had to get it. Even though there was nothing like of a similar price point that I wanted to get to make a 3 for 2 with it, I just had to pick it up because it's Don't Call It Mystery. And I love this series. And this was the only copy on the shelf. So yeah. Again, it's a very wordy series. It takes me a while to read, but I love it so much. It's great. And I keep advocating everyone to read it because it's just that good. Next, these I got in Travelling Man in a 3 for 2. they're all steamship. Before you discard me, I shall have my way with you. Volume 2. It's something, but I liked it. Then Hero for the Shadow Hero Volume 2, which I was mentioning in the video, how I couldn't find this one, but then it was in the new releases section. So yeah, I did actually find it. This one's very cute, very wholesome, and yeah, again, I really like Volume 1. I haven't read either of these Volume 2s yet. And then A New Steamship, Loved by My Two Fiancés, Volume 1, which I did read this one. This one is about a woman, and she has a fiancé, this guy here, and he has dissociative identity disorder, and he has another identity inside of him called Zero, who is this guy here. So she's not actually with two different people, she's with the same guy. He just has two different personalities. And she's kind of, obviously she's engaged to this guy, but she's also kind of into this guy because they're basically the same person. It was alright, I liked it. I would read more, especially since it's only 3 volumes. It's kind of like polygamy, but not polygamy because it's the same dude. But yeah, that's my steamship addiction sated. Next, I got some manhwa. Well, no, I don't think. Yeah, these are the only 3 manhwa. The other one is not manhwa. It's, I think, OEL, and then the other one's Chinese. So the first is The Horizon. I have read this one. This is a manhwa. It hardly has any like words, so this took me no time at all to get through. This is a 3-volume long series. It's dark, it's bleak, it's certainly not a happy read, it's certainly not a light read, but I liked it because I like that sort of thing. But this is about 2 kids, a young boy and a young girl. They don't have names. Their names are never revealed. And they're kind of like in an apocalyptic world. I think there's a war going on. You see soldiers and you see people getting shot. So I think it's some sort of war. It might be some sort of post-apocalyptic event. I'm not sure. And it's just about these 2 kids trying to survive. And they're like going on like this journey. Just walking, trying to find a way to survive. Yeah, it is very dark. But yeah, I liked it. And I will definitely grab the other 2 volumes, especially since it's such a quick read. And then I grabbed volume 2 of A Business Proposal. Out the 3 manhwa that I read, Business Proposal, 95 and Secretary Kim, this one was my favourite. So of course I had to grab another volume. I did look to grab another volume of Secretary Kim as well, but nowhere had volume 2. They had volume 3, but not volume 2. So I ended up just grabbing this one. And then also volume 2 of See You in My 19th Life. So I grabbed volume 2 of these 2, and I couldn't find 2 of Secretary Kim, or else I would have got that one as well. But Secretary Kim was my least favourite of the 3 of them. Rowan, don't start! Not again! It was just a car! It was just a car! Nothing worth barking at! Hey. Yeah, I grabbed those 2. And because I couldn't find Secretary Kim, I got The Horizon instead. Though I haven't read those ones yet. I haven't read any of the rest of these. This next one is by Webtoon Unscrolled. This one I think is an OEL, which is an original English language manga. It's called Freaking Romance. It's about a girl who moves into an apartment that is haunted by a ghost, who is this guy, and he kind of looks a bit like a K-pop star, is how she describes him. And yeah, I like the cover. I have heard of the series before. I've never read the series before or anything, but I did like the cover, and I have heard of it before. I knew what it was about when I saw it. And I picked it up. The art's kind of very pretty as well. So I haven't read it yet, but yeah, I grabbed that. And then I grabbed volume 2 of Rinkwick. I did buy volume 1 of Rinkwick off of Dragon Ball Zoe here on YouTube. She's great. I'll put a channel in the description so you can go check her out. So yeah, there's volume 1. I haven't read it yet, but I saw volume 2 was out, and so I picked it up. I really like the anime for Rinkwick. I do believe that these are just screenshots from the anime put into a webtoon format, because the anime did come first. These are it's an adaptation of the anime rather than the other way around. But I really love the series. I think it's great. It has it's kind of like a mystery drama with some like sci-fi elements and also some like other elements to it. But yeah, it's about these two guys. They work at like this agency. It's like a photography place where they develop film, but what they really do is that they can jump into the past through photographs. So people, clientele, come to them with photographs, and this guy jumps into the pictures, and by jumping into the pictures he goes back to that moment in time, and he stays in the present, and he kind of guides him through everything because he like has the memories from the picture, so he can act like the person whose body he's in, because when he jumps into the past he enters into the body of the person who took the photograph, and his job is to basically to do what the clients ask, but he's not allowed to change the past because obviously changing the past to mess up the future and all that. But he sometimes he has to go into the past to find the ingredients to a curry recipe, or to tell somebody something that the person never got to say and stuff like that. And then like this bigger mystery thing starts going on in the second season of the anime. The first season's more like little tasks, but then towards the end of the first season something bigger starts happening, and then the second season's like one long storyline revolving around that. And yeah, it's very good, and I'm looking forward to reading the mancha, I think it's pronounced if it's Chinese, and also watching season 3 when that's come out, because season 3 has been announced. So yeah, very looking forward to it. It's like it was probably one of my favourite animes that I ended up watching last year. Or this year. I either watched it last year or this year. Either way, it was one of my favourite animes that I watched either this year or last year. It was so good. And so yeah, I just had to grab volume 2. And then lastly, Ari is Junji Ito on the this was in Traveling Man. It had a 3 for 2 sticker on it, and so I took it to the checkout, and like it had the 3 for 2 sticker on it, so the guy like marked it as 3 for 2. But then my niece, who was with me, overheard him talking to his colleague about how this series is not meant to be 3 for 2, and so I got it for 3 for 2 because he already told me I could have it for 3 for 2. But then he had to have his colleague go take all the 3 for 2 stickers off all the other volumes because it wasn't meant to be in the 3 for 2. So I got this in a 3 for 2 when I wasn't supposed to, anyway. Yeah, I like Junji Ito. These are more short stories. I'm familiar with some of them from the anime, and yeah, looking forward to it. I haven't read it yet. So yeah, and that is everything I picked up in reads, whether I should have or not. So yeah. These two are on my list. Therapy Game kinda was, Birds of Shangri-La kinda was. This one was, but this one wasn't. Yamada wasn't. This one wasn't, obviously, but When My Prince was. Happy Marriage was. This one wasn't. This one was. These weren't. Neither was any of this manhwa stuff. And Ali was. So yeah, I got most of what was on my list, plus so much extra that I shouldn't have. Anyway, that was what I picked up in reads, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you for another one. Also, a correction from my reading log. In my reading log, I said that I usually do my manga collection tour in September every year. It's actually October that I do it. I had a look at my previous collection tours and they were all filmed in October. So yeah, I got the month wrong. So my collection tour will be next month, not this month. Just to correct myself on that because I got that wrong. Anyway, bye.